How are we doing, you beautiful people? Kenshi here, bringing you episode 13 of Rise of the Holy Nation Iron Man playthrough. Start this episode off, we have some good news. The first lot of hemp is now being harvested. And some not so good news, we have a bandit raid just about heading to our base, and we have another lot of material traders coming from the Western Hive heading towards our base. So once we deal with the bandits, we're going to need to find the Western Hive, ambush them, and try to take them out before they can get to our base. I think if we can try to intercept them around stack, there should be enough Holy Nation patrols there to aggro in and help wipe them out. Because where we're the Holy Nation, we need to fight the bugmen whenever we see them, and we don't want them showing up to our base and causing us a bunch of issues. We are still having a little bit of pathing problems, so we have removed the small green fruit farms in this area. The green fruit is still there, so we just need to go round, and then when we have the chance, we're going to go and pick them up so our guys won't go into this area, because they keep getting trapped on that little ledge, which is not ideal. So the raid coming in is going to be the Black Dragon Ninjas. Not much of a threat to us. They do have some decent bleed damage, but our guys are in okay armor. Nothing amazing, it is all basically scavenged armor, but it should keep them alive, and they are getting split up because of the pathing into this area. At the moment, they are going to be more like target practice for our guys than a real threat. We will be able to take all of them down, and some of them should have some decent enough ninja blades. That might sell for 500, maybe 1,000 if we're lucky. Those we can take to Bad Teeth or to Stack, sell off and get a okay amount of money for it. It won't be amazing, but any money we can get is going to be super useful. What we want to start looking into is having the Adventurers Guild bring us some supply caravans, so they'll bring us extra recruits. This way we're going to be able to fill out our colony with what we need. We're also going to need to send Peter down to buy Stack to try and intercept that Hive materials trader before it gets too close. If we can engage it far away from the base, hopefully it will de-aggro and go back to the Hive, or seeing as we'll be in Holy Nation territory, there is a chance that some Holy Nation patrols will jump in and attack the Hives with us. So it should be an all-round win-win situation, and if we're lucky, the Hives will then become aggressive to us, so they will stop sending us these trade caravans. Because once the trade caravans show up, and if they get close to the base, my fighters cannot hold them off, and if they just aggro up the hill and start taking out my workers, it's going to be pretty much game over, or it's going to be a huge setback. And seeing as we intend on attacking the Shek and the United Cities real soon, it would be a fairly big blow. We have pretty much dealt with the Black Dragon Ninjas, so we've pulled GNU off. GNU's going to run an intercept on the Western Hive. We're going to try and focus down the Garus first. Two reasons for that. Firstly, the Garus are pretty tanky. Secondly, they're also packed full of resources that we're going to be able to use. So GNU's going to focus them down, cause as much damage as he can. Peter is also on his way over, and then Peter will regroup. We'll try to focus down the Western Hive trader. If we can take him down and he dies, or if he's knocked out, the Western Hive should return back to their dirty swamp. GNU's delaying action has brought us quite a bit of time, but the Western Hive has finally made it to the base. We've taken down 2 Garus so far, but that is about it. We've knocked people down, but they keep getting back up. This has brought us enough time to have a bunch of our people go to bed and start healing up. Most people are healed, but not everyone. So Peter's going to get in and do as much damage as he can. GNU is down, almost everyone else is down, and it's pretty much just Peter. Thankfully they're not aggroing onto us for some reason, so we're getting a bunch of free damage in, and we're going to try to thin their numbers as much as we can. Because if they get any closer to the base and they start aggroing in, we will start losing people. Not that that's a massive issue, people are expendable, but a few of them we have trained up quite a lot, and not losing them would be better than losing them. We are going to start our recruitment drive real soon, so that is why we're starting to save up some money, even though we don't have any money now, but we do have some resources. It looks like we managed to drive the Western Hive off. I'm not sure why they decided to de-aggro, and if we just hit that trader one more time, we should be in a pretty sweet situation. So he's down, he doesn't have anything on him. We're going to steal the backpack just so we can move some items across. This means we should be able to start looting some of the glaives off the Western Hive as they go down. Once they get back up, if they don't have the glaives, they are not nearly as dangerous as they normally are. An issue we are running into is where I took limb dismemberment off and put it on never, because this is Holy Nation playthrough. It is meaning that we're taking down hives is considerably more dangerous, because taking down hives is normally easy because you can just knock a limb off. But this way, they're not losing their limbs, and where they have a lower bleed rate, yeah, they're not going down. Well, they go down, but then they get healed, and they're straight back into the fight. So at the moment, hives are way more dangerous. So if you're playing a playthrough of hives, take limb dismemberment off, and they become super deadly. We are running into a couple of issues. We're still fighting a Western Hive. We also have the United Cities elite hunters coming in, who are pretty thick boys. And then we also have crop lice that are going around and taking down our farmers and eating all of our hemp, which is knocking us down a bit. If we don't lose anyone in these fights, I am going to be amazed, but then there's a chance that we don't. But if we do, like I said, people are expendable, we can always recruit more, and we're about to start a recruitment drive, so our numbers should be replaced. Unfortunately, Peter and Gnu were not able to hold the line, but hopefully this time, this is the Western Hive retreating away from our base. Here are some more of the crop lice causing us some proper issues, but hopefully this is something we can sort. I think if I get my farmers and I start putting them into some decent plate armour, give them some weapons, they won't be able to deal with them straight away, but after a while they'll be in a situation where they can defend the crops, because at the moment they are just ruining our hemp. Also, once the turret guards get a bit better at shooting, they are going to be able to go in and start slotting these little cretins before they can even get through the kill zone, and then being crop lice, they'll just aggro onto the guards, and then my other guards will jump in and we can take them down. But yeah, they do a lot of damage, but they're not particularly tough. And I'm dealing with this super bad. Peter and Gnu are on their way over, so they should be able to deal with those crop lice in no time at all. The crop lice aren't eating through the crops as quickly as I thought they were going to be, so that is okay. That obviously isn't great, because I prefer the hemp, because we're going to need it for a lot of other things. We'll also start pitching other people against them just to try to buy us some time. But thinking about the turret guards, we are going to expand the amount of turrets we have and the amount of turret gunners, so we should have more angles, and the more angles we have, the more likelihood of things getting up that kill zone and being shot. Well, not getting up the kill zone, but as they're going up the kill zone, being shot. So we can start wearing down the numbers super quick, and ideally start aggroing them onto us instead of the crop lice getting into our fields. Because right now it is only hemp that's holding us back from being able to take out the Shek. Once we have hemp, we have fabric. Once we have fabric, we can have medikits, we can have armour, we can have weapons. With all of those things, we're going to be able to kit our guys up. They're going to have all the medical supplies they need, they're going to have the armour to survive, and then we can start wiping out the Shek as soon as we can. But we do need to wipe out these elite hunters first. They've managed to get into our base super quick. They didn't even announce themselves, they just came in and started hacking our guys up. We've still got problems with some crop lice, but if everything goes to plan, that should be sorted pretty soon. And once these elite hunters go down, they're going to be dropping edgewalker weapons and like high grade samurai kit, so we can take our farmers and we can gear them up, so once these crop lice come in, we can deal with them super quickly. Funny that right now our biggest threat is a couple little bugs, but once it's sorted, we won't have an issue with them anymore. We are cleaving through these hunters. Well, we're not really cleaving through them, they're more cleaving through us. But the guys that actually have any decent armour are staying up against them quite well. And this is going to be a mean old delivery system of some super good kit that's going to make a massive difference to our survivability at the moment. But as soon as we can start looting them and getting that kit off them, once they get back up there won't be as much of an issue, and then our guys will be better. We are running into a slight problem that our guys are using big heavy weapons and they're using katanas, so they're pretty much always getting their hits off, and not very many of ours are going through. Once our hits do land, they do plenty of damage because we've got a lot of blunt on them, and their armour isn't as good against blunt as it is against sharp. Luckily for us, they only come in a small group. I think there's probably 6 or 7 of them at the moment. I don't think any of them are down, it doesn't appear to be. Okay, one is down. And if we have a little look-see at the kit, we got some pretty nice stuff. We got some edge walkers, some medical supplies. That wasn't as good, that little like push dagger. We're going to keep them in their armour until I can find someone that needs it. Change across our Ariana. Ariana's now going to be pretty well geared up. So it is basically all high grade kit, which is obviously pretty decent, better than what we got at the moment. And those guys shouldn't be too dangerous when they get back up. They got no weapons and they got no armour. So we should just be able to hack through them if they try to get involved. Like I said, the main priority is going to be trying to get our farmers into some plate or some samurai kit so they can stay in and look after the crops, and then whatever's left we are going to give to our adventurer squad, because obviously the adventurer squad gets in the most fights. But with hemp we can produce our own weapons. If we can produce our own weapons and produce our own armour, then we're going to be able to get everyone in better kit than what these guys drop. So that's why we're looking towards the farmers instead of looking towards the adventurers, because the adventurers are holding, and I'm a big advocate that within Kenshi it is more about stats than your armour, whereas farmers have no armour and no stats. So yeah, that's the logic behind it. not foolproof and it's not completely sound, but to me that makes sense. We have now run into the issue where we are running low on medical supplies. This is not a good situation to be in. It does mean that people are more likely to bleed out because they can't be tended to. So I'm going to try and find people that have medical kits, especially the ones that are down. So we're going to have our guys that can medic running around and actually healing, because they just seem to be picking people up and not doing much with them at the moment. And that is an issue. If someone picks someone up and starts running around with them, sometimes they get healed too, which is good. But it's not uncommon for one of you guys to pick someone up, to put them in a bed, not have a medical kit, start walking around, get distracted by something else, and then they bleed out, which is something that we seriously do not want. And also, once we get the hemp and we get the fabrics, we can get those beds going. And soon, real soon, we'll have our own medical production going. The plan with the medicine is I want to get 5 advanced medikits per character and 1 advanced splint kit, and that will sort them through the rest of the playthrough. We'll never need to worry about medikits again, and it is fairly quick to set up a colony of this size with that much medikits. I reckon it would probably take about 12 days to get everyone that we have already with 5 advanced medikits and a advanced splint kit. So we're on day 34, so as far as this playthrough goes, that would be a big portion of the playthrough would have just been making medical supplies. But as the game goes on, time goes a lot quicker because there's less things happening, because you can't do as much, because what you're going to be fighting and doing, it takes far more planning and preparation. Whereas earlier on in the game you can literally just run around and do stuff and there's no consequence, almost no consequence. But later on you have to plan for when you leave the base and all of those sort of things. So hence why we're going to have the big recruitment drive, because I'm going to need a second corps of defenders. We'll move a bunch of the adventurers across to that so they at least have a backbone defense, and then a lot of the new recruits would also be going into the adventurer squad to replenish the numbers, and then we'll be going out throwing them against the shack. If they survive, then obviously they got a place. If they die, well, that's a bit of a shame, they can easily be replaced. But with our guys having better medical supplies, going to have better armour, better weapons, they should get up to speed pretty quick. And I can also do the old trick of just getting a group of them, sending them down into Skinner's Roam and fighting a whole horde of starving bandits. That will get them up to speed super quick, and yet again a whole bunch of good kit coming our way. So we are going to look like we're going to be super well equipped from now on. Well, not super well equipped, but far better than we were. We'll get, like I said, we'll get the farmers sorted. That's going to be like one of the main priorities. We're going to have a bunch of the adventurers sorted, so they're not going to go down as quick. And most of their kit was still shoddy grade, so that is going to be a nice big power boost for us. There are still a couple elite hunters around, so that means more armour and more weapons for us. As Micah is still up, we are going to send him over and get the kit. And this seems to be pretty decent. We just got a specialist samurai armour. Leg plates were high grade, the rest of it's high grade. So we are looking like he is going to be able to hold off those crop lice super easy, and he's got a bunch of better weapons. And what we're going to do is, with the weapons we don't need, we're going to trade across on to Peter, and then we're going to give him some medical supplies as well, just so he can keep himself alive and keep Sing alive. Hopefully Sing likes to go down and his toughness isn't going up, which is not a good mix. We have just gone around and handed out a bunch of the weapons, and we've also spread out some of the medical supplies, so hopefully that should be most people covered. We're also on the lookout for a crossbow for Kenshi, and with the loot that we have now, we are going to go across to Stack. If the pathfinding messes up, we will go up to Bad Teeth, but Stack generally has better supplies and more shops. The pathing is messing up, so I think we're going to redirect and we are going to go to Bad Teeth. Bad Teeth's alright, it's nice and close, it still has an adventurer's guild there, so that is not a problem. And it looks like we have, wow, that is a lot of numbers. So it looks like we are going to have a big old scrap at Bad Teeth. This should be a lot of fun. It's looking like it is the shack. Holy Nation seems to be, I don't even think they're holding out front. There is a lot of shack, there is a lot of shack that are down, but in a one-on-one fight, a shack basically nearly always beats one of the Holy Nation. They have better weapons, better stats, and a lot of them have better armor at times. So we're going to go in, we're going to see what we can do, see if we can help our holy brothers out. But yeah, this is a war zone in here now. Oh jeez. The defense of Bad Teeth. And that is a whole bunch of 100 guardians as well. Seeing as there's only meant to be 100 of them, and I've seen what, 6 or 7 now? That is a big portion of the Shek army there committing to this attack on Bad Teeth. So we're going to need to get involved. We're going to need to keep an eye out for the Inquisitor. Because even if everything else falls and everyone else dies, if the Inquisitor survives, Bad Teeth will survive as well. Hopefully, because there are going to be patrols in this area, Holy Nation patrols will come in and support their brothers here. Pete is good. Pete is really good, but he's not going to be good enough to be able to take on all of these Shek. If I send the rest of my Adventurer squad over, it is going to be too early. They are just going to get mangled because there is far too many Shek about. We'll start taking as many weapons as we can off the Shek, so when they get back up they can't fight. We'll take medikits as well. Try to deny them from being able to heal each other. And if this turns into war of attrition, the Holy Nation should win. In a straight up fight, the Shek would have this. The Shek just have far better numbers at the moment. And yeah, Shek are just dangerous. Do not underestimate the Shek. Thankfully, most of them aren't wearing armor on their top half. So if we can get a decent attack in, we are going to be knocking them down. Peter is shredding through them, but it looks like another Shek patrol has come in. Yeah, they've overrun the top gate, and as we saw in the fall of the Holy Nation in the Hive playthrough, if you can secure this top gate up here, the Holy Nation falls eventually, just because of all the nasties coming in. They are also attacking the bar, which is a little bit annoying because we want to be trading, because we want to be getting rid of all of the Shek equipment as we can. The more Shek equipment we can get rid of, obviously the less equipment the Shek will have, and the better we're going to be. But yeah, I can't see the trader anywhere at the moment. We do have a bunch of the Shinobi Thieves, and this might be a good excuse to take out the Shinobi. So we can kill off the Shek, which obviously is something that we want. And then we're also going to be able to kill off the Shinobi Thieves. So this might actually turn out really well for us, just for a little bit of fluff. But yeah, this is not going well for us. I'm going to try and speed it up a little bit, just see what happens, because this is going to take a while. And in all of my infinite wisdom, I have left passive on. Passive is now off. The Holy Nation is falling super quick. Pete is going to be completely outnumbered. See how well he can hold, because I don't want to start pulling my other guys from my base yet, because it'll be too soon. They won't stand a chance. I mean, my guys will be a really good peacekeeping force. So once the Shek mainly get knocked down, and then my guys come in and keep them down, my guys are going to be perfect for that. But in a straight up battle, this is not how my guys are going to work. My guys will not work very well against the Shek in the straight up fight. But piecemeal, we can do that. Keeping them down, we can do that. Containment, we can do. But there is just so many Shek. I don't think I've ever seen so many Shek attack a town before. I'm not sure if this is a triggered event, or if just a bunch of patrols just spawned in and overrun the Holy Nation patrols and then just ended up in the town. Because we are quite close to Bad Teeth, so it is in the same catchment area as our base, so it is constantly running. And if you want to take a town out, real simple, all you do is you put a little base in there, and you just have your guys in there for a long time, and eventually the town gets overrun. Especially in Mongrel. Mongrel's brutal for... if you hold out in Mongrel too long, you have doomed the town. Okay, so the plan is we are going to try and take the top gate back. That seems to be where most of the Shek are coming from. The bottom gate was kind of holding when we came in. So if we can take the top, start knocking the Shek down, and then we can secure this area. Hopefully the Holy Nation can move back up and secure the top of the town. But yeah, if you look in, it's multiple Shek fighting one Holy Nation at the time. Thankfully the sailback poachers are coming in and they are fighting the Shek, which is buying us some time, but then the Holy Nation also fights the sailback poachers. So at the moment this is a four-way fight. It's us and the Holy Nation versus the Shek versus the sail poachers. So I don't have high expectations for how the Holy Nation is going to hold on this, but hopefully they do, because we kind of need Bad Teeth and I don't want this falling. And if it falls, I'm pretty sure it will turn over to the Shek, which would be super annoying for us, because that means we're going to have Shek right on our doorsteps. We are going to pull GNU over. Peter was doing alright, but there is just too many. He's starting to take a little bit of damage. The Shek, they don't attack fast, which is their main drawback. So katanas beat the Shek most of the time. Katanas don't beat the United Cities, because the United Cities use heavy armor, and they also use a lot of katanas themselves. But against the Shek, katanas are a very good weapon choice until the 100 Guardians show up. But yeah, we got GNU. He's got a pole arm, so he's going to have good attack speed, he's going to have good cut, and he's got okay damage. It's a low end pole arm, which we really do need to get sorted. But yeah, just the numbers are even staggering Peter at the moment. Let's pull through. Let's see if we can find what else is going on in town. Yeah, the town is overrun. As simple as that. There are Shek everywhere. They're running out of the shops. They're taking out the guards. They're moving down. Even into the lowlands. It's all Shek. Hardly any Holy Nation left. We have the Adventurers Guild. But I think first job right now is we need to start selling off those weapons as soon as we can. Once those weapons are sold, we go around, we loot the Shek. Once we can start looting the Shek, we can get rid of their weapons, and then the Shek are going to start having troubles. And somehow the Shek are quicker than us. They shouldn't be. We definitely should be quicker than them. Actually, no, we're crazy over encumbered at the moment. So yeah, that would do it. So the plan with GNU is we're going to have GNU hold the bottom gate the best that he can. He'll be able to clear those up. Then once the bottom gate is secure, hopefully the Holy Nation will try to reinforce it. If that gets reinforced, then we can start moving back into town. We need this trader still up, so we need to get in and try to save him if we can. And he is down. Okay, let's trade. Let's get rid of the kit. With that, we need to bring this episode to an end. So thank you for watching episode 13 of Rise of the Holy Nation. All your likes, comments, sub support have been amazing. You guys are awesome, and I'll catch you on the next one.